Hello, hello, hello. How are you guys doing today? It is 11:04 a.m. on Thursday morning, and I have been up since 8:30 this morning, 8:35. Because we had to take the dogs to the vet for their vet checkup, which I didn't even realize until we were on our way there, and we were like driving in separate cars because Alex was going to leave there and go right to work. But I was like, only one of us can go in, and I had the dogs with me in the car. And because of, like, you know, restrictions and stuff right now, like they only are allowing like one person to go in with the dogs. And I had totally forgotten that. And so he was like, well, do you want me to go there and sit? And I was like, babe, you don't have to sit in the parking lot while I'm sitting in there with the dogs. There's no reason for that. So I said, just go to work. And so he went to work and had the check-in appointment with the dogs. They're doing good. And left there, took them home, stood outside, talked to my neighbors forever. And then was just like doing some stuff around the house, cleaning up, putting all of my Starbucks cups in the dishwasher. I kind of like, they kind of pile up next to the sink. So I'll use them like once or twice, and then I like leave them there to wash. So I had to put like, I think I had like 6 or 8 cups I had to put in the washer. So I just ran a load of wash. And then I was coming out to the car, and it started pouring down rain. And I was like, well, I'll just wait until it passes. And then I was like, just go to your car, just run to your car. So I had bought this Patagonia backpack, and I'm returning it because when it came, it was very cool online, but when it came in the mail, it was definitely for somebody that's like a serious hiker kind of deal, you know. It wasn't just like for like a backpack, you know, that you just use for everyday stuff. So I'm returning it because it was expensive too. And so my box got like soaking wet. And now I'm vlogging. Hi. And after I get done vlogging, I'm hungry. I think I'm gonna go and go to First Watch, where Sarah and I went the other day, and I think I'm gonna get avocado toast again, and then potatoes, and that Purple Haze tea drink that I got the other day. I think I'm gonna get that again as well. But I kind of like to have a coffee while I'm vlogging. So I'm gonna drive through. Oh, I just passed a Starbucks. I should have gone in there. I'm gonna go up to the Starbucks up here and order something. Or maybe I'll do a loop back around and then go to that Starbucks where I usually go. I think that's what I'm gonna do. Can I get by this guy here? And then I filmed a Peter Does Stuff video yesterday, but I went to go get a fountain pop with Tanya. Well, I checked, she got a fountain pop, I got a water. And when I got home, it was like 11, and that and my Peterisms video still were not like completely uploaded. So I was like, I'm just gonna wait till tomorrow and post them. So they're scheduled to go up today. So, and then I'll have the vlog done here in a little bit, in a second. I'll have the vlog done in a little bit. And then when the vlog is done, I'm gonna eat my brunch, and then I'm gonna go home, and I think I'm gonna take a little nap with the dogs. It's a rainy day, little napper with the dogs. And then get up and film like a drama video and maybe a booktube video. Plan a review video. So 3 videos I'll film today. And then I think we're supposed to go to dinner with Melissa and Jason tonight. We were texting about it they asked us if we wanted to go to dinner last night, but Alex went to this thing that he had to go to, and so he couldn't do dinner last night. So we may do dinner with them tonight. We'll see. Alex doesn't get done with work till about 8-ish, so if we go, it'll be late. So that's it, just a casual, calm Thursday. I'm meeting with our tax person on Saturday. So I got to put all that stuff together, which is always so much fun, isn't it? I haven't really been listening to my audiobook the last couple days. I'm not into it at all. Like, I told myself yesterday, I was like, just listen to it and get it done. Because maybe I'll start liking it. But every time I listen to it a little bit, like, the main character is just really not likable. And so, like, you know, when you're reading a book or watching, I mean, you want to kind of like the characters, you know. Oh, I know what else I want to do. Well, I was going to do this last night, and then I fell asleep and went to bed for the night. But I wanted to watch the last episode of It's a Sin. I started it, and I'm only like 5 minutes into it. It's so tragically sad, but it is such a fantastic show. It's so good. So, yeah. Tony and I drove around for a while last night and talked, so I didn't end up getting home till, I think, like, it was after 11. And then, I went to bed, like, right away when I came home. I was so tired yesterday. Well, I had slept, like, a lot, but then I got up, you know, and just was kind of, like, busy all day yesterday. I don't even know what I did yesterday. Did I vlog yesterday during the day? You guys were like, Peter, you should know this. I don't know. I love sunny days, and when it is like warm weather. It's 55 today, so it's not too bad. It's windy outside though, which makes it a little bit cooler. But I love sunny days. I think they're so pretty, and they just, you know, put me in a great mood. But there's something about, and I don't want to like a whole month of it, but there's something about like a cloudy, thunderstormy kind of day, like today is, that I just love. It's like the perfect day to, like, you know, make a cup of tea or coffee and snuggle in and like get a great book or watch a good, you know, TV show or movie or something. I just put in the dishwasher this mug that I bought from Target. I told you guys about this, didn't I? Target has, I should go there and see if they have, I was gonna buy the dishes, but they have like this stoneware. It's really cool. It's like these clay like mugs, and then they have like bowls, and I need to go there and look at the whole like collection. It's like right when you walk in, and it's super cheap too. I mean, for like dishes and stuff, like each thing is like $4. Like a mug is like $4, and it's they're great mugs. So maybe I'll go there today and see what they have in their collection. I also need to mail this box to Patagonia. It doesn't feel like a Thursday. It feels like a Monday. Do you guys ever feel like that? Like you don't know like what day of the week it feels like? But it does. It totally feels like a Monday. Rain is coming down pretty hard. It's funny, I can like see my mom like standing in the kitchen, and she would just like look out at the woods like when it would rain. I could just see her standing there. Like, we have like this sink over our kitchen, you know, or over our sink over our kitchen. We had a window over our sink in our kitchen, and it looked out into the woods. And you know, she would have the windows cranked out, and so you could like smell the rain, you know, coming in the window, and you could hear the rain like on the leaves and stuff. And she would I can just see her standing there, just like holding her cup of coffee and just like looking out at the woods. There's something about just practicing silence and just practicing like solitude, I think, that brings me so much peace and serenity. Like, I've really tried to, several times a day, just sit and be still. Not with any TV, not with any music, not with any YouTube videos or a book or anything, or audiobook, but just sit and be still and silent. I remember years ago, and I've talked about this on here before, I used to listen to this thing. I don't know if they still have it on NPR. Are any of you guys out there NPR listeners? I used to listen to NPR all the time when I was growing up. There's like this sign sitting out in the middle of the road here. I guess I can't get by it. It's like not supposed to be there though. It's like not a sign telling me I can't go through. It's like stuck out to the side. This guy's gonna get irritated with me, but I don't know what else he wants me to do. But I used to listen. So when I was growing up, my mom and I, like Fresh Air or whatever, she would drive around and listen to that in the car, and it was always so soothing to me. I love National Public Radio. But we used to, I think it was on Sundays, and it was with, I think, like Fiona Ritchie or something. But we used to listen to this show, and it was Celtic music, and it was called Thistle and Shamrock. Does anybody else listen to that? So we used to listen to the show called Thistle and Shamrock on Sundays when I was growing up as a kid. And, but as I got older, I kept on listening to NPR as well. A lot because they had, it wasn't just U.S. news, I mean, in the United States, I don't think the United States news stations do a good job whatsoever of covering international news. So NPR always, covered international news and stuff that was going on. And I would listen to it, like, on the way home from work. That was Fresh Air that I would listen to at that. But anyway, there was this show, and I can't remember what it was called. It was on a couple years ago, and it was on Sundays as well, I think. And it was like a 10-minute spot or something, and they would like interview somebody. It was like 10 minutes to the hour or something. I can't remember what it was. It was called Story. Oh, I know what it was. It was story.org or storytime.org. I have it in my phone. It's actually like the very first note I ever wrote in my phone. I'll have to look it up here when I get to Starbucks. But they would have people come on and like share little like stories about their life. And I remember that there was this story on there about this guy, and he was like a scientist, and he had gone to like the redwood forest and the Appalachian Mountains, and he had gone to like, I don't remember, but like all over the world, right? And he was trying to measure the distance of silence. Like how far, like what's, like how, like we think of silence as like not having the TV on or talking to people or music, right? But true silence, like when you're in the woods and there's like not a sound, and that would even include like a raindrop would be a sound, or like a leaf falling on the ground would be a sound. And so he was trying to find like measures of complete silence, and like what was the longest that the world could go completely silent. Not just human interaction, but like the world. Isn't that like a cool concept? I love that. Like with the rain right now, like there's obviously like this is sound to the rain, right? And then there was this other one that I loved, and it was this guy, and he loved playing piano. He was like fanatical about it. And he lived in New York City, and he had grown up in New York City. And his parents had dreamed of him, or his mom had dreamed of him working like on Wall Street. So when he graduated from college, he was playing piano a lot, and all this kind of stuff. And he was supposed to go get his MBA. And the money that he had saved, Tanya Jean's calling. The money that he had saved to get his MBA, he had, instead he bought this, he would put, so his piano was like on rollers on the street, and he would, I'm gonna get that brown sugar coffee. I really like that. Is there a huge line? Not a huge line, no. And he would put his piano on the street, and then he would, people would tip him and whatever. And all this money that he saved and the money that he was going to spend on his MBA program, he ended up buying a box truck, okay? And he put his piano, and I love this story. I've told it a million times. He would put his box truck, he would put the piano in the back of the box truck. Hold on, let me text Tanya really quick. Could I please get a grande brown sugar oat milk shaken espresso?
What else for you?
That's it.
Alright,
Thank you. So he would put his piano in the back of this box truck, and then he would drive it all over, right? And then he drove it down the East Coast, like across Florida, to then like Louisiana, New Orleans, Nolans, and then he went to like Mexico. He went like all the way into like South America, okay? It was this incredible, incredible story. And when the woman interviewed him from this story.org or whatever, I should look up that website. He had this placard on the front of his piano, and the placard said, hold on, I'm gonna find it for you. It's like my very first note ever that I wrote. In the back, okay, yeah, it's story.org. And in the background, he was playing on the piano, you know, the song from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, you know, in a world of pure imagination. I think that's what it's called, Pure Imagination. Do, 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 do. I love that movie. And on the placard it said, you owe it to yourself to do something remarkable with your life. And I love that so much. I think that's so fantastic. And it's true, you know, it's true. We all owe it to ourselves to do something remarkable with our lives. We're, you know, I'm such a believer that what we put into our life is what we get out of it. And what do you want the condition of your life to be, you know? My sponsor says to me, like, when we talk about emotional sobriety and being sober, she'll say, like, how sober, I think she says it like this, how sober do you want to be? Like, do you want to just do the bare minimum and get by, or do you want to be like, have like true emotional sobriety where you were like enjoying your life fully as much as you possibly can? Like, how much do you want to get out of this? I want to get as much out of it as I possibly can, you know? I want to, and not just with sobriety, but with this world, with this life, like I want to have the most amazing, best life that I possibly can. Well, to do that, you know, I have to do some work. It was funny, I said something in my drama video yesterday, and Jessica Kent, you guys know who she is, so like, if like YouTubers over a certain amount of like subscriber count, they comment on my video, I can see it on my creator app in this area, under like for alerts and notifications. So she commented on this thing. I said in my video yesterday, And she commented and she put blue heart and 100%. I guess I said this in my video. I want everyone to be successful, but sometimes you need to go through things and come through on the other side. And I'm such a believer in that. You know, it's like, I know a lot of successful people. And I know a lot of successful people that are successful because they've just always been successful. You know, have you ever known people like that? It's like everything in their life just looks perfect, although seemingly maybe it's not on the inside, who knows, right? But then I know a lot of successful people that are successful and have been through a lot of tough times, a lot of adversity. And they're so much more, like, I'm so much more attracted to people. I don't mean in a romantic sense. I mean just attracted to people in general, like their personalities and who they are, and like I get really attracted to people. Do you? Like not like on a ooh, like they're hot, but I mean like I want this person in my life. Like their energy is fantastic and I can learn a lot from them. And you know, that's how I felt when I met Tanya. I was like, Tanya is somebody that I want in my life. Like she is like her energy is unbelievable and she's just so wise, and it was just everything about her, you know, that I was like, I really want this person in my life. And hold on a second, I'm going up here to
Hey there.
Hey, how are you?
Doing well, how are you?
I'm good.
It's almost 5:94. One grande brown sugar, one milkshake and espresso.
Thank you, have a good one.
You as well. Thanks.
He's newer, I haven't seen him there a whole bunch. But my sponsor was very similar in the same way. Oh, this is so good. There is something about a really good, like, strong cup of coffee, isn't there? Especially in the middle of a rainstorm. Don't just things like that make you happy? Like a good cup of coffee, or like that Stone coffee cup that I got. It just makes me so happy when I see it. Isn't that so corny? I want to buy some flowers today too. I've been thinking about that. Just some pretty flowers for, put some in the living room and some in the kitchen. I think would be pretty. Maybe some by our bed stands too. You can get pretty good flowers at the grocery store and then kind of split them up like that and put them into smaller vases. I just love to have flowers around the house. It just makes me so happy, and I don't do it as much as I should. Candles and flowers, like candles I've been really using a lot lately. But candles and flowers, what is, God, it looked like something, like a sheet was flying over there next to me. Yeah, oh man, I bet it was the people like hitting the puddles of water. But there is something about somebody that is just very real and very genuine and shares about the hardships that they've gone through in their life, but also shares about the joy of their life as well, because I think it's a happy medium. I think, you know, somebody that shares too much about everything they've been through is, I think, like they're really trying to teach something sometimes. I think it's important, you know, to notice the joy and the happiness that happens in this world as well. You know, like, you know how I say it's the bitter and the sweet? And sometimes people don't, they'll say, what is he saying when he says that? I'm saying bitter, like sour, bitter, and sweet, right? It's like, you know when people would say back in the day, like the yin and the yang, it's like the bitter and the sweet. And I remember it was a friend of mine, she and I were walking through this casino, and Belterra Casino in southern Indiana. We had stayed there overnight, and she and I were just talking about life in general. And I can see us walking through there, and I remember I said to her, I had said, you know, like, she said something about, like, she didn't understand why something was happening in her life, and it was something sad. And honestly, I don't even remember what it was. I mean, it wasn't like somebody had died, but it was like, anyway. And I said, but I think that life is kind of like that sometimes. Like, it's the bitter and the sweet. And, like, without one, we wouldn't know the other, right? Like, you wouldn't want your life to be all bitter, but, like, would you want it to be all sweet? And I mean, like, none of us wants tragedy, but I think once we accept the fact that, like, sad things are going to happen, like, people are going to pass, people are going to move, you know, pets are going to pass on, and, you know, all of that, it's like, I think, like, had I not gone through some just really, really difficult financial times, where, like, honest to God, I didn't even, like, know, like, how I was going to pay my bills, or, you know, get rid of debt and things like that. I think had I not gone through that, I wouldn't have the appreciation that I have for, like, really just the small priceless things in the world. You know what I mean? I think about my mom, though, because it's so funny, because, like, my mom, I think, you know, if she had, there are times in my life that I really wanted nice things, you know, and I still do. I still like nice things, you know. And, you know, my mom was such a proponent of, I mean, I think it's also easy, like, my mom, she worked a lot of her life, but there was much of her life that she didn't have to work. So it's easy to preach about what life is about and isn't about when you don't have to, right? But the last, I would say, part, you know, like, when I left the house till a couple years before she passed away, my mom, like, worked a lot. And tough jobs, too. I mean, she would work long hours at retail, standing on her feet. She hated it. She hated it. She hated it. And, I can just remember her working, like, 12-hour shifts. She worked in domestics for 1 year. Then she went back there, I feel like, and she worked, and domestics was, like, towels and sheets and stuff like that. I remember this one time, that was, like, the Christmas that she was working there, and it was when she was still drinking, and I was in high school, and she would come home, and I can just see her sitting there, like, she'd stand at the island with her hands both on, like, the island, and she'd be drinking, like, a glass of wine or a martini for two. She had got us cans of martinis for two. I said something about that in my video the other day. But anyway, and she'd just be sitting there smoking a cigarette, and she'd be like, oh my God, these dancing flowers. And they had these dancing flowers. When you think about something like this, you know, it's supposed to bring enjoyment. And it was like, you know those things that you, like, have, like, an on-off switch, and then it's, like, those plastic flowers, and they dance to music, you know, like, happy birthday to you, you know, or whatever. How can you mess up the song Happy Birthday? But I just did. And she was like, it's all day long. They have those flowers on. Because it was, like, across from her, and it was, like, in gifts or something like that, like, corny gifts or toys or something. And she's like, it's literally 12 hours of these happy flowers dancing and singing. And she was like, I'm losing my mind. But I do remember my mom always saying, like, don't ever get caught up. It's like, it's fine to like nice things. It's fine to want nice things. You know, we all do. And my mom had, like, beautiful clothes and bags and stuff like that. But she was like, but don't get caught up in it. She was like, there's a difference between wanting it and liking it, it stopped. But I was saying that, like, my mom would, you know, she loved nice things. She had nice clothes and nice bags and all that. But she was also a penny pincher, which is kind of funny. She really was. Like, she was a clearance shopper all the way. And she'd go and look at the same, I remember this leather jacket that she looked at it in Taylor's Loft, because my mom was real short and she loved that store because it was, like, more her size. And she went back and looked at this leather jacket. I mean, she would go in there and the woman would say, well, it's still, like, it's marked down. And she'd say, oh, well, I'll just come back. And something happened with this leather jacket. The woman ended up just, like, giving it to her for, like, a cheaper price because I think she was tired of her probably coming in there. But my mom would just keep on coming back and look at it. She'd say, well, I don't really. She'd try it on, you know, and then they'd say, oh, well. She'd say, are you sure it's not going to go down anytime soon? Oh, I can let you know when it goes. Well, I guess I don't need this leather coat, she'd say. She ended up getting that leather coat, and it was like an expensive leather coat. It was like a biker jacket, and she ended up getting it for, like, super cheap, like $30 cheap or something. I don't even remember what it was, but she got it for, like, she's always proud of herself for those deals she got. But my mom would always say, you know, it's fine to like nice things. Like, we can all like nice things and, you know, want to have, you know, a nice bag or a nice watch or a nice piece of jewelry or whatever, you know. As long as you don't define your happiness by that. As long as you realize that that thing, that object is not going to make you happy. And, but I was laughing because my mom, her whole life, like, well, 2 cars. She wanted a Volkswagen Beetle again because she, like, had one when she was younger. But she also always wanted a cherry red convertible Mercedes. And I always said if I ever got rich and famous, I'd buy my mom a convertible red. A red convertible. A cherry red convertible Mercedes. I do think, though, that that's sometimes, like, where you should treat yourself in life. Maybe not to a cherry red Mercedes that'll cost, you know, 60 grand. But on the smaller things, like, I remember my mom had this set of sheets. And they were beautiful. And, like, she had bought them. Like I said, my mom was a clearance shopper. And she would go to, like, there was a store here called Tuesday Mornings. I don't know if it's, like, a chain or not. But it was, like, you know, like, really nice bedding and towels and stuff, and all, you know, potpourri. I should go there and get some potpourri, but potpourri and all kinds of stuff. But then they would have, like, incredible sales too, you know, on the stuff, because it was like they would get it, like, after it had been marked down. So they have like Ralph Lauren bedding, but it's like at 1/3 of the price that you would normally pay. And so she would go there, and that's where she would buy stuff. My mom, there was something about my mom and my aunt, I don't know what it was, where they got it from, that they always really liked nice, like, towels and bedding. It was kind of the same, I don't know if it's maybe like an old attitude of, like, growing up in the 50s or something, but it was that attitude of, like, you know when people joke and say, like, your mom would say, you know, always have clean underwear on in case you get in an accident? Like, my mom and my aunt really lived by kind of, like, that rule. Like, I can remember taking my mom to the hospital at the end for she was having these tests done, and she was like, you know, she could hardly change on her own at that point. So I was laying out clothes for her for, like, the next day, and she was like, can you, like, go into my underwear drawer and, like, pick this stuff out for me? And I was like, yeah. And so I was like, well, what underwear do you want and whatever? And she was like, my mom, she would be she probably would be like, God, why are you telling people that? She honestly wouldn't care. But my mom did think that, like, not necessarily the thongs, but, like, you know, the underwear, she said it was more comfortable. She said because it wasn't, like, all gapping, you know, and all this kind of... My mom and I had real conversations about stuff. But anyway, she said, I'll never forget this in the underwear drawer. She had, like, those... She bought some, like, on sale, some, like, day of the week. She goes, not those day of the week underwear, please. She was like, I have to see doctors today. She was like, just make sure that you just put some, you know, beige panty or granny panties out and a nice, you know, wire bra that matches it. She's like, it has to match. But like she and my aunt were so weird about that, like nice underwear, always having to have nice underwear. And my mom was the same way with sheets and towels, you know, like always a nice sheet and towel. Oh, and pajamas and robes. Like my mom was really into like, it didn't have to be, and I'm not talking about like expense wise nice. I mean like clean, fresh, new, you know, like my mom always got like, she was always getting a new pair of pajamas, and she wore like these little shorty pajamas. I actually think she used to buy them at Victoria's Secret, and they were like boys pajamas, but like for women, and they like buttoned up, and she loved them. And or she would have like the little shorts that in the summer were like shorts and a t-shirt, you know, that were like a set, and then had like a robe that went with it. My mom loved those. She would wear nightgowns too, but like when I was growing up, she wore like those lamb, I thought it was lambs forever, but I think it's lands. It lands, like, you know, those like nightgowns that go down to your ankle, and then they have like the collar and everything. I don't know how she'd sleep on that with a matching robe and tie it around her waist, and she'd sleep in all of that. I don't know how, right? But the older she got, she didn't, and she would have like a long t-shirt on, you know, like a long t-shirt that was meant to be a nightgown. She would wear something like that to sleep in. And, yeah. Why am I talking about this? I don't know. But no, like she really, because I was talking about her liking like nice sheets and nice towels, but would never pay full price for it. Oh, never, 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 never. I remember we went to Ralph Lauren in Edinburgh at the outlet mall, and it's an outlet, Ralph Lauren. And she was so excited because she thought she could get some like Ralph Lauren bedding for cheap. And the outlet stores, if you've ever gone outlet shopping, like some of them are good, but some of them are not. Like, and Ralph Lauren's like one of those. Like Ralph Lauren will have like one rack of stuff that's like really true clearance, and the rest of it is pretty just normal prices of their stuff, right? And their bedding was not like really that marked down at all. And my mom was so put out. She was like, oh my God, I thought I was gonna get some cheap. She was so excited about this Ralph Lauren bedding, and she couldn't believe that it was so expensive. She's like, no, I'm not buying that. It's ridiculous. But my mother also, she had like the same sheets for 20 years. These yellow and white sheets. They're white and they have little yellow flowers on them. She had them for like 20 years. When my mom would use sheets and they would start to, not so much the sheets, but maybe the pillowcases, she would like cut them up and she would use them as dust towels to dust like floorboards and stuff with. Isn't that crazy? Do people do that? I don't know if people do that or not. Maybe it's not crazy. It is busy today. Look at Chick-fil-A. They cannot wait to get in there and get their chicken. And then Einstein Bagels is completely dead. Can you even go in there? Maybe you can't go in there. The rain died down, I guess. If you guys haven't tried this yet, you really should try it. It's really like a little special treat, delight. I am not somebody that uses creamer in my coffee a lot. I'm kind of starting to go, I think, into the phase of starting to like cream in my coffee again. Like I go in and out. But like if I'm at a restaurant and I get a cup of coffee, I was like, where was I the other day that I didn't get cream in my coffee? I was at First Watch. But if I go, like if I bought creamer and had it at home, like, you know, during the lockdown stuff, like I will use it. Like I will use it a lot. And I was using that Starbucks Cinnamon Dolce. Come on, dude. The Cinnamon Dolce creamer at home. I had like the perfect coffee I would make. Do you guys remember? I would make my iced coffee, and then I would put Cinnamon Dolce latte creamer in it, and then you know what I should do is I should go get some more of that creamer and start doing that at home is what I should do. instead of always going and spending $5 or $6 on Starbucks. I think that's what I'm gonna start doing, especially since I bought that Mr. Coffee maker. Do you guys want to hear the strangest thing? Okay, and like, I don't even know how to say this in a way that it doesn't sound completely bad, but I was like laying in bed the other day and I was thinking about, like, you know, the weeks that Alex and I were locked down and he wasn't going to work, and, you know, he would go to bed early and I would sit out in the driveway, and, you know, we would, like, we didn't really even DoorDash a lot of food. We, like, fresh timed our food from Amazon. But remember, I was eating a lot of chips and onion dip and making cheese sandwiches. I mean, I was power listening to books in my car, and I would stay up late at night and I would, like, watch a show or two, you know. I would sit in the driveway and my iPad and watch a show or two out here, you know. And then I would listen to audiobooks and I would play Words with Friends, and I slept even weirder hours than I sleep now, you know. And I was laying in bed the other day and I was like, although that was like a really difficult time, and, you know, I made it through, we made it through, all of us did, I was like, there was something about that there was something nice about that period. I was kind of like missing it a little bit. Like, I think part of it was missing having my husband at home, you know, but I also think I realized what, like, a homebody I am, that I could, like, if you asked me today when I'm out and I'm doing stuff, I'd say, oh no, I wouldn't want that, but that I could probably get myself to a point where I would be completely fine, like, never leaving the house again, and just watching TV and reading and, you know, ordering all my food in. Like, once I got used to that, like, there's probably a part of me that could get very used to just being like that forever, and, you know. Come on. My back window is so dirty. It feels so weird to think that was a year ago, you know? Well, guys, I think, well, guys, mostly gals, jazzy gals, all my jazzy gals from Schitt's Creek. That was one of the shows I watched. I think I'm going to get off here now and go get some brunch, and I'm going to make this a little bit of a shorter vlog today. So I hope you guys are having an amazing Thursday. If nobody else has told you this today, I love you, and don't forget that. Like I also always say, practice random acts of kindness, but also, like I always say, don't tell anyone, just do it because it's the right thing to do. Let's just put some nice things out there in the world, some kindness. Most importantly, make sure that you reach out to somebody and let them know how much they mean to you. Anybody, just reach out and say, hey, I was thinking of you. Make somebody's day today. Let's put, like it says in the 4 agreements, always lead with love. Put some love, kindness, forgiveness, understanding, tolerance, amazement, wonder, and awe, hope, faith, and courage out there into the world. I love you guys, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Love ya!